Thank you so much, Olga. Fascinating. So I'm going to tell you a little bit how we at Alma's marketing team approached and tackled and still tackling this situation. I've already introduced you to Alma. I'm just going to describe you our customers, because when I speak about customers, I actually refer to two tiers. First tier is the clinics, the doctors, okay? They are B2B customers, and most of our marketing efforts go towards this audience. We also invest a lot of funds into B2C marketing, which is in our case, the patients, the people who actually go to the clinics and get our procedures done, our treatments. So this explanation is important because I'm going to give you a few examples in my presentation, and I want you to understand the context. So, you know, when all this mess started, I got to tell you that I got a little depressed because same as many other marketeers, I think I went through a very short grief phase. I had all these great marketing plans for 2020. And we invested so much thought into them, and you know, there was rationale behind them. And all of a sudden, at once, the game changed. Everything shuffled. And it took me a few days to let go what I had in mind for 2020 and to kind of internalize the fact that all of my plans are going to completely change. So I didn't have the luxury of waiting for too long because, you know, we are marketeers. We need to react quickly. But at some point, I kind of got myself together and started looking at it as a great gift. Because this is actually the best marketing exercise anyone could think of. I started marketing in a few academic institutions, and nobody has taught me about, you know, such a scenario. There's no textbook for such a situation. And this is probably the biggest challenge a marketeer could wish for. You know, we always look for opportunities to stand out. So, you know, here I got it. And all we need to do is just to grab it with both hands. And, you know, that point was a turning point for me because this is where when I started looking at it in a more positive way. So the first thing that came up to my mind is actually a quote, a notion from over 200 years ago said by Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent one, but it's the one that is most adaptable to change. And I think adaptable to change, I'm sorry. And this is actually the key word here, adaptation, because we actually need to adapt everything from marketing perspective. The platforms we utilize to approach our customers, the messages we deliver, and even the tone of voice we use. So at Alma, we first defined 3 leading principles to guide us through this crisis. Number 1 objective was to keep the dialogue going with our customers no matter what. This was the major thing for us, to continue to have a continuity of the communication. So we used a lot of webinars, and Olga elaborated about that. That's super popular these days. And what we do, we conduct about 2-3 webinars every week on a variety of topics. From clinical content, of course, which is trivial, but also business tips and marketing approach and even regulation. So we have a very wide variety of topics that we share with our potential clients. I can tell you that the attendance is significantly higher than in the past. I'm talking about 6 to 7 times the level of attendance we used to have. So definitely it's something that our audience is interested in. Now, what's good about it is the fact that every webinar requires a few interactions with the customer because we invite them to the webinar and then we remind them of the webinar. And then we conduct the webinar and we have a Q&A session. And then we send them the recording. So there are a lot of touch points here with our potential customers. And that's why we like this tool so much. And it's actually really easy to find people to cooperate for these webinars because we don't use necessarily our own talents and assets within Alma. We reach out to external lecturers many times, and they are very happy to cooperate because they also trying to find places to speak and opportunities to share their experience and knowledge, and we provide them the exposure. So it's a good deal for everybody. The next thing is social media. It goes without saying, but I will mention it anyway. It's another way to keep the communication going, yet the tone of voice has to go through an adjustment process, because we at Alma believe in planning social content or drip campaigns that provides audiences with the look of the human side of our business. So it's not like we're not talking about our products at all. We do, but we do it in a very, very sensitive way these days. We also try to incorporate personal notes, like from our CEO, for example. Weekly meet the staff feature that introduces folks to your team could be great for this time, or maybe behind the scenes look at how you make your products. That's also a very good fit. So we just need to slightly adjust the tone of voice. And then the third tool would be polls and questionnaires. That's also a great opportunity to learn more about your customers. And that gives you also more reasons to interact. So what we gain is first and foremost a database, okay? We expanded our database drastically in the past 4 weeks, just because of all these webinars and the new content that we provide, because we ask in return for the potential customers to fill up a form with all the contact information. So we have a great database that we can use the day after, and we intend to use it the day after. So that's a great benefit that we earn from all of these activities. And also we, of course, gain that continuity that we were seeking. What the customer gains is knowledge, of course, and also trust. We are there for them. We help them to go through this situation, and we provide them with a lot of knowledge. So the second objective is to think contribution and not conversion. And this is crucial because we wanted to find ways to keep our presence without being perceived opportunistic. We wanted to be perceived supportive. That means that we also need to adapt the tone of voice of our messages and kind of go down to the bottom of the marketing funnel to the awareness level. We don't want to be too pushy or hard sell with our messages. We also want to truly provide value by good content. So this was actually a very good time for us to write new pieces for our blogs and adjust the material to be more like light and soft, but still deliver our messages in a sensitive and a supportive way. Our social media posts, as I said, still talk about technologies, still talk about products, but the tone of voice has slightly changed. We created new content, all kind of comparisons between different technologies and devices, and we have put together 5 new clinical training presentations, and we even provided our customers with a guideline how to utilize their social media pages these days. So most of the content we supply is not necessarily sales driven. So what we gain here is first of all trust, okay, because we are not perceived like we are exploiting anyone in this situation. And we also secure the customer's loyalty, okay? They stick with us. We provide them knowledge. We are not too pushy. And they are glad to have us with them during this very challenging times. And what the customer gains is knowledge, of course, and also some sense of togetherness. I'm showing you here a snapshot of a bunch of webinars and mailers and blogs that we created. All of this is just from the past 4 weeks. This is it. We've conducted in the past 4 weeks, 7, actually today is going to be the 8th webinar in 2 hours, 8 webinars. And we have over 2,000 people participated. That's a huge number. So the exposure is amazing. And as you can see, we were super busy in the past few weeks just creating all of that. I also want to display a short video that we've put together for our clients. And this actually demonstrates that sense of togetherness that we were trying to give our customers. We released this a couple of weeks ago as a strengthening message to all of our business partners. So let's just watch it. You could hear it and that it wasn't too broken. One of Alma's core values is people first. And our tagline is for you for life. So we had the opportunity to transform these words into actions. This video doesn't speak a word about technologies, not a word about our products, and nothing about business, just a pure togetherness message. And it was received very, very well. We wanted to deliver the message that not only we will get out of this crisis together and in one piece, we will get out of it stronger than ever. So that did very, very well for us. And this is a good demonstration of, you know, a strengthening message, not going hard sale, and not exploiting the situation. Objective number 3 was to plant the seeds for the day after. So once we are out of this crisis, we are ready to strike the market. Now, what does that mean? It means that we are developing new protocols that are the perfect fit for the day after COVID-19. For example, skin rejuvenation treatments that take into account the skin condition after a long shutdown, for example. People change their nutrition, maybe they ate more fatty food, they didn't go out to the clear air enough, they felt stress. So we have an opportunity now to come up with new products, new protocols, new treatments. We also believe that the day after, people would not look for long-term treatments. They will prefer to get treatments that provide instant results. And we are adjusting the range of solutions we offer accordingly. So thinking of the day after from product point of view, it's very important so we can, you know, we can come prepared and do not offer solutions that are disconnected from the new reality. So we all the time need to think about the day after and what type of adjustments we make. We also want to utilize what we gained during the crisis. We're talking about that database that we expanded. So we have a list of people who consumed our knowledge, and they are pure leads that we need to take care of. So this is another thing that we need to digest and think what we want to do with it the day after. Also, we have a good opportunity to highlight products or product features or product characteristics that are more relevant for the time after COVID-19. So at Alma, for instance, we have disposable hygienic tips for some of our handpieces. So this is their time to shine now. For many customers, this was a downside in the past because they had to pay for hygienic tips for every treatment. But these days, it has become to be an advantage that needs to be highlighted. So I'm going to give you some general tips how to successfully go through COVID-19 from a marketing perspective. So tip number 1 is use videos. I'm a great believer in videos, and anyone who knows me knows that. I truly think that we need to strive to transform any static information we have into moving images. We know that the recall rate of videos is much, much higher than text or static images. And in the COVID-19 era, this fact is even more valid than ever because people are looking for instant messages that are fun to watch. This is the time to create interviews, testimonials, or any other video material you can think of, and move away from just plain text or images. Tip number 2, don't afraid to go live. Now more than ever, people are looking for authenticity, for interaction. This is the closest thing we have today to a face-to-face meeting. Today, there's a bunch of tools available that you can go live through, like Facebook Live, live stories, and of course, live webinars. So anything that can make your customers feel close to you would definitely do the job. Explore new digital tools. So the hottest thing now is virtual congresses, virtual meetings, etc. There are a few solutions I've bumped into in the past few weeks, and I'm sure many companies spotted this opportunity and trying to leverage it. You can launch that you don't want to postpone. You can still get your potential customers in one place at a certain time and present them to the product in a virtual congress. Some of these virtual congresses even offer virtual lectures, live demos, and so on. So this is definitely something that I'm personally going to explore, and I would suggest you to do so too. Another tip is to use humor. Stay positive and use humor in a good taste when possible. People are tired of news and serious content, and our messages can be also delivered in a fun way. We created at Alma funny animation posts for our social media channels. Probably not something that we would do during normal times, but now it felt like the right look and feel to use. Very important, protect your brand. Budgets are tightened, and the first intuitive thing to do would be to take your prices down. But that action may have 2 negative effects. Number 1, you're harming your brand. If you want to keep your brand at the same positioning as before, I would stay away from taking down the prices. And number 2, your customers may think you were too greedy with your prices in the past. So and it will also be very difficult to raise them up again after the crisis is over. So you can offer better prices in other ways. This is the time to use coupons, for example, special packages such as buy 3, get 1 free, etc. This way you are offering good deals while still protecting your brand. And lastly, develop your marketing assets. This is the time for projects. There are so many things we never find the time to do. Here is our chance. This is the ideal opportunity to dive into your Google Analytics. Try to understand what's going on there, what works better, what needs to be improved. Great chance to add content to your sites that can improve your SEO. Also try to refine your narrative. We always say at Alma, no story, no sale. Are you absolutely sure you have the right story now? Go through your strategy again. Does anything need to be changed in light of the changes we're going through, or is everything right in its place? These are also questions that we ask ourselves at the marketing team, and we're trying to prepare better for the future. So there were a lot of question marks in my last 2 sentences, but I hope I gave you also a bunch of new ideas and some inspiration. So this is my 2 cents on how to go through this challenging period successfully from a marketing standpoint. I hope you found it beneficial. Thank you.